In this tutorial, we'll be going over how to create a multi-step task with an Azure Container Registry. So Azure Container Registry supports multi-step tasks, and these allow you to build, push, and execute commands against one or more container images, sequentially or in parallel. In this tutorial, we'll create an Azure Container Registry, then we'll create a multi-step task using a YAML file. After that, we'll run the multi-step task against our Azure Container Registry using the Azure command line interface. So to do this tutorial, you'll need an Azure account, and you'll also need to have the Azure command line interface installed on your machine. So first things first, we'll need to create an Azure Container Registry. So let's start by logging in, creating a resource group, then creating that Azure Container Registry. So we'll start by logging in with AZ login, and you'll need to select the correct subscription. Then we'll be creating a resource group. After that, we'll create the Azure Container Registry using an AZ ACR create command, specifying the resource group and the name of your Azure Container Registry. I'll also be using the premium SKU. Okay, so that's completed. So to have a multi-step task, you'll need a YAML file, and the YAML file contains one or more task steps, for which there are three different types of task steps. You've got the build step, and this is used for building a container image. You've got a push step, which is used for pushing a container image into the container registry, and that can be the Azure Container Registry or a different container registry. And then you've got a command step, a CMD step, and this is used for running an image as a container. The steps can reference different container images. They don't have to reference the same container image, and they can be run sequentially or they can be run in parallel. If you want to run it in parallel, you use the when property, and you put that in the build, push, or command step. So the YAML file we'll use is included in the blog post, which I'll link in the description. It has a version, it has a steps section, and we've got 3 steps in there. The first step is to build the image, and we'll be building it using a Docker file, and this Docker file is included as well here, and it uses the Hello World image from Docker Hub. The next part of it is pushing, so the push step, and that will push this image that's been created into our container registry. And then finally, we've got the command step, which will just run the image as a container. So let's use this task YAML file and the Docker file to run the multi-step task. So before we do that, let's have a look in the Azure portal at our container registry. So I'll refresh our resource groups. I'll go into the resource group, and we can see we've got a container registry here, and it should be empty at the moment. There should be no repositories. Yep, that's correct. And if we look in tasks, there should be no tasks and no runs. Okay, so I've gone into the labs directory for the multi-step task, and I've got 2 files here, which I mentioned in the blog post, the Docker file and the YAML file. So we'll clear that. So let's run the multi-step task now. So if we go back to the blog post, to run the multi-step task, you use an AZ ACR run command. You specify your registry and you specify the task.yaml using the file flag. We'll run this command now. And yep, I haven't pushed anything to the container registry yet. You saw that. So this is all going to be done using that multi-step task. Okay, so we're getting that output of the task execution. We can see that in the command line. So let's go have a look in the Azure portal and see what's happened. So if we refresh the repositories, we should see one repository there. This is the Hello World repository. And that's only just been created using the CA1. And that would be one instance of a task being run. So that's just been created there. And if we go into the tasks, we have no task there at the moment. But if we go into the task runs, we should see one entry in there, which is a quick task. And this is actually a multi-step task. We can have a look at that, and we can have a look at the outputs there. So you can see that it did go to get the Hello World image, and then it pushed it to the Azure Container Registry, and then it's actually run it as well. So you can see the output there for running the Hello World Docker image. It says hello from Docker. So that's running a multi-step task in Azure Container Registry. Don't forget to delete all the resources that you've provisioned. So you can do that by deleting the resource group. So using AZ group delete command and specifying the resource group name. So run that and make sure you remove all the resources that you've created. If this was valuable to you, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching.